Okay, people, listen up, listen up. We have one more thing to do here. We have to decide who's going with dubbing, who's going with subtitles for foreign programming. Seems like a pretty straightforward choice, yeah? Let's see. Looks like Germany, Spain, France, Italy, Hungary, a few others. You guys are going with dubbing, yeah? Okay, sounds good. And let's see here. Looks like Scandinavia, Portugal, Greece, and a few others. You guys are going with subtitles, yeah? Okay, sounds good. Well done. Let's go home. Wait a second. I didn't see Poland's name here anywhere. Hey, Poland, are you going with dubbing or subtitles? Yes, Poland decided to go its own way when dealing with the issue of how to broadcast foreign programming on its television stations. Whereas everyone else on the planet chose professional dubbing or subtitles, Poland's solution is called the Lektor. 99% of the time, it's a male voice speaking in a flat monotone over the original, translating everything into Polish. So when, for example, an American show is broadcast on Polish television, you can hear the original volume in the background, and the lector basically repeats everything that's said in Polish, obviously, a second or two after you hear the original. It's a kind of dubbing, I guess, but as I said, you can still hear the original, so it's not like professional voice actor dubbing that they use, for example, in movies for kids. It's just the lector, and this is definitely a Polish thing. Nobody else does it like this. This is a very common first-time experience for visitors to Poland to turn on a television and see something like this.
Cokolwiek pani sprzedaje, ja tego nie kupię, jo? Nazywam się Skyler White, jo? Mój mąż to Walter White, jo? Wszystko mi opowiedział. Serio?
The lector does male voices, female voices, children, everybody in this flat monotone that kind of sort of sometimes betrays a slight hint of emotion, but not really. The people in the show that you're watching might say something in a whisper or shout, but the lector never does. When two people argue, he translates both sides and uses the same voice to do it. The result is that you can often encounter situations where you hear things like this. I love you. I love you too. I'm so happy to see you. I missed you so much. Please don't kill me. This is the happiest day of my life. You did it. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. You get the idea. And I've had this conversation so many times with Poles, and I asked them, wouldn't something like this be better?
Die Pläne vom Todesstern sind nicht im Computer.
Was habt ihr mit der Funkübertragung dieser Pläne gemacht, die ihr empfangen habt?
Wir haben keine Pläne empfangen. Dies ist ein Konsularschiff. Wir sind in diplomatischer Mission unterwegs.
Wenn das hier ein Konsularschiff ist, wo ist dann der Botschafter?
Okay, it's German, and it's a film and not a television show. Okay, but still, for most Poles, the answer is no. Most Poles think dubbing like that is weird. And I kind of agree. Yes, it's kind of funny in a way, and it's easy to laugh at, but doesn't it at least make sense? I mean, each character has his or her own voice, and the drama of the scene is reflected in the voice. Again, isn't that better than the lector? But as weird as it might seem to me, and maybe to you, and probably to most people, most Poles are fine with the lector, and they do not want to see a change to professional dubbing or subtitles. Poles will tell you that the lector isn't there to act or to emote. He's there to interpret. And I guess that's fair, but it's just still so weird. Maybe it's like Australians and their Vegemite, or Americans using feet and inches to measure things. You know, everybody else says, "What are you doing?" And the answer is just, I don't know, we're just used to it. That's the situation with the lector in Poland. People are just used to it. And if you ask them to explain why they don't want to change to some other method, you'll probably hear variations on one of these 2 points. One, the lector is a better balance. The lector allows you to hear the original actor's emotional performance in the background. So you get the tone of the original, but the meaning in Polish. And two, Poles don't notice the Lektor. After a lifetime of listening to the Lektor, most Poles will tell you that his voice has become invisible. Your brain just kind of merges the translation with the original acting, and you stop consciously hearing the narration at all. And, looking at this from a different perspective, I have to admit that if you're a television broadcaster in particular, there are good practical reasons to use the Lektor. It's much cheaper than hiring a whole team of professional voice actors. It's faster too. One guy goes in the studio, reads the script, and done. In fact, there are a handful of Lektors that are very, very well known in Poland because millions of people hear their voices every day for years and years. This guy, for example.
Przepraszam.
It's fine.
To nic.
It's always a
Przysięgli muszą zrobić przerwę, nim ogłoszą werdykt.
Anna, look,
Posłuchaj,
I'm a fairly level-headed bloke.
jestem w miarę zrównoważonym facetem.
Not often,
Niezbyt często zakochuję się i odkochuję,
but
ale
can I just say no?
czy mogę odmówić twojej uprzejmej prośbie i niech tak zostanie?
Maybe listening to the Lektor is better than listening to Hugh Grant, now that I think about it. So, is the Lektor here forever? I'm not so sure. Things are changing. Older generations will never consider a switch away from the Lektor, but time moves on. And the rise of streaming services has made subtitles the go-to option for a new generation of people watching television. Plus, this is the generation that was raised on the internet and its English content, and they are much better at understanding the original than you might think. There are more and more people in Poland that don't need the Lektor or subtitles at all. Of course, there always has to be something to make sure everybody can understand. But as time goes forward, I think we're going to hear the Lektor a lot less than we do today. Because the Lektor's popularity has already peaked and it can only fall. And again, the rise of streaming services means that subtitles are a familiar option to more and more people, and that number is only going to grow. Whether that's a good thing or not is up to you to decide. But anyway, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how weird do you think the Lektor is? How weird do you think I am for thinking that the Lektor is weird? Maybe you have a different perspective. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here at Polsko po Angielsku. And let's have a nice little outro with one last bit of the Lektor, one of my favorites.
Gdzie ona jest? Uspokój się, ciężko rozmawiać mając przed sobą lufę. Bezpieczeństwo twojej córki zależy tylko od ciebie. Pewni ludzie chcą, żebyś coś dla nich zrobił, więc jeśli ty chcesz ją kiedykolwiek zobaczyć, musisz z nami współpracować. Jasne? Nie, błąd.